How's it going, everyone? Today we're going to take a look at the types of crypto assets that you can invest in. The crypto universe has spread well beyond just digital currency. There's plenty of types of tokens that you can invest in, similar to different sectors in the stock market. We're going to take a look at the crypto universe almost from a stock market approach and take a look at the different sectors that you can choose to invest in. Cryptocurrency is still new and we have tons of gains ahead of us. Hedging your bets in the correct sector could net you tons of profit. Keep in mind, most of these sectors aren't even close to being fully built out and the potential isn't even close to being realized. Most of these sectors only have a few years of life in them, and that leaves us with the potential to have tons of profits in both the short and long future. So with that being said, let's jump on into this deep dive. My name's Sugar and this is Token Tutorials. All right, so getting into the different types of crypto assets that you can invest your money in, I want to pull up this diagram that Hacker Noon created because it does a very good job at breaking up the whole entire crypto market into four main types of tokens. Now, crypto was once thought of as just currency, and this is where we get the mainstream name cryptocurrency. A lot of times, however, that's a really bad classification because not all of the tokens that we see in the crypto universe are actual currencies. As we can see here, we have got quite a few different options than just traditional storage of value currency or payment settlement. And that's what we're going to take a look at in this video, is the very wide amount of assets that you can choose to invest in. Just like the stock market has a ton of different sectors, crypto has the same. As you can see here, the stock market consists of 11 main sectors: technology, financial services, consumer cyclical, healthcare, and the list kind of goes from there. Well, crypto is no different. What we can do is zoom in on this chart here to get a better look at it, and we can kind of compare and contrast these to different sectors that we see in the stock market. Now, the term cryptocurrency should be more aptly replaced with the name crypto assets because, like we said earlier, not all of these are just pure currencies. Starting over here on the left-hand side, because this is kind of where crypto started out with, we have our storage of values, our currencies, and our payment settlements. General storage of value currencies like Bitcoin or Litecoin can be thought of as digital gold or digital silver. They're created with a deflationary aspect to them, and this lets them exploit supply and demand concepts that basically increase price as the scarcity goes up. Bitcoin right now is the most common storage of value and can be thought of as digital gold, while Litecoin can be thought of as digital silver. Now, privacy coins, on the other hand, are meant to be an actual cash substitute, whereas your general storage of value are going to be longer term holds that people aren't really buying or selling a lot of. Privacy coins allow for discrete transactions to occur between users. Monero is the most common of these, and Zcash is catching up with it quickly. When it comes to just general day-to-day payment settlements, however, not every transaction needs to be completely private. This is where Ripple and Stellar comes in, and these have their own pros and cons to it compared to a privacy coin. We'll get into that into a separate video, but basically just know that your privacy coins and your payment settlement coins are designed to replace fiat currency, where your general storage of value coins are designed to replace traditional precious metals or assets that are gaining value in the long term. Moving over to blockchain infrastructure, this is where a majority of your new technology coins are going to be coming out on. We can see that they list Ethereum under these smart contract platforms. Think of these as almost like the operating system on your phone, and they allow for different apps to be hosted on them for users to then go and use and benefit from. Ethereum can be thought of like the App Store or the Android operating system on your phone, where you can download different smart contract apps known as dApps. These dApps, or decentralized applications, have tons of different use cases for it, and the possibilities are endless as crypto continues to gain mainstream adoption. Coins under these smart contract platforms don't necessarily act as a currency coin like we saw over here. Instead, they're often used as a fee medium. meaning that in order to access the Ethereum network, you're going to need to pay your fees in Ethereum. Now, as user adoption grows in the platform, generally speaking, the cost of the fee token is going to rise because of supply and demand concepts. More people are using the platform, therefore more people are going to be demanding the token, and that causes a rise in price. We've seen this with Ethereum lately in the past year, skyrocketing from around $200 to $300 a coin to north of $4,000. This is simply because a lot more people have been jumping onto the Ethereum network and using its dApps such as Uniswap or SushiSwap. Now, blockchain interoperability coins allow for different networks to basically talk with each other. Arc and Icon are two good examples of this, and these coins are going to be seeing growth in the future as we're going to see a need for more networks to have cross communication. Just like with text messaging, your iPhone users have to be able to text your Android users. Now, iMessage and SMS message are two different networks, but we have interoperability solutions in place to allow those iMessage and SMS text message users to talk seamlessly. That's where these come in, and traders that opt to buy these coins buy it thinking that the value is going to increase as adoption on these networks increases and the need for interoperability increases with it as well. Blockchain discovery tools allow for the recognition and discovery of new blockchain or allow for finding data on the blockchain that already exists. An example that's not listed here that I really like is the Graph, and it's opting to try and be the Google search index when it comes to smart contracts. The Graph is going to allow people to easily search for contracts, which they can then execute. Blockchain discovery tools are going to become very important as we see the growth of crypto in the near and long future. Now, moving over to services built on the blockchain, these are going to be your financial and non-financial services. Think of it as basically everything that the blockchain can give you. These have your exchange tokens like Binance Coin or BNB. BNB is used to pay for fees and can also be used for swapping on the Binance Smart Chain network. Another very important sector within the financial services area are these stablecoins. Stablecoins are coins that track a real world value. In most cases, they track the US dollar and will always trade at a dollar. Supply and demand mechanisms are put in place so that it will always trade at a dollar. If a bunch of people are trying to buy the token, supply and demand would state that the price would increase because demand's increasing. To combat that, burn mechanisms are in place that completely destroy tokens in the supply. Stablecoins are such a big sector of the crypto asset universe that I will be doing a full video on it, as well as just having an entire video dedicated to DeFi alone. DeFi is going to be this whole area, the financial services sector of services built on the blockchain. DeFi is where I'm personally most excited about when it comes to blockchain technology. Now, when it comes to non-financial services, this is where you're going to see a lot of growth as crypto attempts to actually take over real world industries. We see this with social media, gambling and gaming, data storage, computation, as well as other. Now, crypto is so new, it's kind of hard to have an idea for what it could become. That's why this other section can be so big. Real quick, I just want to go over some tokens that I've personally actually used when it comes to non-financial services. And I'm not talking just buying and selling to trade and make capital gains off these. When it comes to social media, the Theta Edge network can be ran on your computer to basically have an open source decentralized Twitch stream. Now, you can get paid for actually just randomly watching these streams as they pop up on your computer screen, and you get paid in T-Fuel. I played around with this for a little bit when it first came out, and while it's a really cool idea, it's just not built out enough yet. In a couple of years, however, it could take over YouTube as a decentralized approach may be necessary to prevent videos being taken down or censorship risks. So T-Fuel is an example of a crypto that you can actually use right now on the blockchain. You can get paid T-Fuel for watching these streams, like I said, or you can host your own stream and get paid T-Fuel. When it comes to gambling, Decentraland offers virtual casinos where you can actually spend your mana token and bet it at the blackjack table.
While I personally haven't tried this, I do know some close friends that have and have watched them do it, and it is definitely an interesting thing to watch. Now, I personally haven't stored anything on the blockchain when it comes to data storage. However, MedChain is a very interesting data storage coin that I want to quickly highlight that's looking to take over storage of health records and put it on the blockchain. Users will also be able to opt to integrate their smart wearables like a Whoop band, or if you're like me with a type 1 diabetic and you have a continuous glucose monitor that reads your blood sugar constantly, I can have that tied to my health records on the blockchain, which can be accessed by any doctor that I approve access to. What's even crazier is they're looking at doing a marketplace where you can actually sell your health data to researchers looking to gain access to it to further medicinal research. Now, for the everyday person, that may not be a huge thing, but for someone like me that's a type 1 diabetic, those blood sugar readings that are being constantly generated throughout the day could be a lot of value to researchers. I just think that MedChain's a really cool one, and while it kind of falls under a few different categories under this non-financial services, the computation and the other, because they do some other stuff that I haven't mentioned, and I'm definitely going to be doing a deep dive on MedChain because I'm a huge fan of it long term. Let's move on down to computation. Golem is a great example of a crypto asset that is looking to create a global supercomputer. I won't get into too much about Golem because, to be honest, I don't know a ton about how it works. I just know that it's pretty cool. The last one I want to highlight is BAT under the other, and it is the token that you can actually earn by just simply using the Brave browser instead of your normal Google Chrome or Firefox or Internet Explorer if you're a pleb that still uses that. Now you can see here, I've earned 0.5 BAT or 30 cents worth just from simply using this browser. It isn't much, but every little bit counts. BAT can also be used by ad developers and a bunch of other stuff when it comes to marketing on the Brave platform. And finally, we have our other token. These are going to be our scams, and I do want to put like meme tokens in right here because I think this chart might be a couple years old, but your scam tokens are going to be definitely something you want to look out for. These are also known as rug pulls, and it's what happens when a coin gets massively promoted by scam users, generally on Reddit or Twitter. Now, what happens is the buyers actually put their funds into a smart contract in which a bad code is written and their funds are never given back. Either they're unable to take the funds out, or the actual creator of the smart contract just removes the funds from the actual wallet that they're putting it into and just disappears and runs off with it. Any reputable coin will have published a white paper which you can then read and go through to learn about everything the coin offers. Personally, I spent about an hour and a half looking through the MedChain white paper just because it seemed too good to be true before I jumped on board. After reading it, it clarified a lot of things and it opened my eyes to what the investment could be. Now, if the coin doesn't have a white paper or the white paper just seems really shady, likely it is to be a scam. Generally speaking though, if you're investing in a top 200 or 250 market cap coin, it's probably not going to be a scam. Now, I do want to point out that even with doing tons of research, rug pulls can still happen. Billionaire investor Mark Cuban recently got hit by a DeFi rug pull when Titan basically shit tanked and went to zero in the matter of a couple seconds. Now, there are a few sectors that aren't mentioned in that post before, and I think that's just because it is a couple years old. We can see this one is from May of 2021, and it also does a really good job at defining the main sectors of crypto. I just want to highlight this because there's a couple in here that we didn't see before. Obviously, we have our payments and storage of values. We went over this with the digital gold known as Bitcoin and payment solutions. Dogecoin is listed here as a payment solution. I would also kind of put that in the meme coin. But however, because it just has so much mainstream adoption and hype behind it, I could see how you could classify it as a payment solution. It has a relatively low value. It's not like you're having to use 0.00000001 Bitcoin to buy a coffee. You can use 4 or 5 Dogecoins. Smart contracts, we went over that with the Ethereum. Now this one also lists Cardano and Solana. These are 2 platform ecosystems that are competing with Ethereum that the other list did not have, and they're newer kind of to the party. I am huge bullish on Cardano, and I definitely think that there's some crazy gains to be had in the future on that one. It also touches over centralized exchanges, which we did see in the last one, and we had our Binance coin BNB. When it comes to decentralized exchanges, we talked about that with Uniswap. 1inch is another popular one, and we will see PancakeSwap in my next video where I show you how to buy the Cake token. Now, the main reason why I brought up this page is because it goes over NFTs, and these are definitely a class of tokens that are rising in popularity. Chili's is going to be one of your main ones. Now, NFTs are non-fungible tokens, and these are basically anything from art to tickets, essentially anything that has non-fungibility. We can see here it can even be used for music, and that's where data comes in with kind of the streaming aspect of it. Now, I'll have a whole video on NFTs alone because there is a lot of kind of questions behind it, and I truly think that it is a hell of a lot more than just a JPEG file that you own. People are like, why can't you just screenshot the picture of it and then boom, you own the NFT? Well, yeah, I can take a picture of on my phone of the Mona Lisa, and I've got, the Mona Lisa there, or I can just print out off of Google Images a picture of the Mona Lisa, and I got the Mona Lisa there. But NFTs kind of bring that unique signature and identifier of being a unique asset and put it on a digital level. There's some really cool things that can come from that. But anyways, getting into healthcare, we mentioned this with the med chain, so I won't go over too much of that. Gaming, we talked about that with the Decentraland. And this is kind of where I wanted the last sector to be highlighted that wasn't in the other post, and that's DAOs. DAOs are decentralized autonomous organizations, and you can think of them as companies with no people behind them. It's basically ran by computer code or smart contract, and these things have a lot of potential in the future. Just like DeFi is changing traditional finance, I believe that DAOs are going to change traditional business structures, and we're seeing that with things like MakerDAO, Argon, and Jibber. Now that we've taken a look at the main sectors, let's kind of take a look at the different leading coins in each one. You can go to CoinGecko.com to find that out. If you go over to coins and hit categories, we can see a list of the different kind of market sectors. Now this does a really good job at listing all the different market sectors, but as you can see, there's a ton of them that they have. So it's kind of a super in-depth as opposed to a broad overview look. Now, a couple things that I want to point out that none of our other pages showed here is there's some definitely new sectors that have low market caps that are coming out that also have crazy potential. We see this like the Internet of Things coin. These are basically smart home or smart item coins. Now, VeChain is listed in there, and that's a supply chain optimization coin. That's another emerging sector, is we can bring blockchain to the traditional supply chain and increase the effectiveness of it. Oracles are different types of coins that basically link other contracts together, and Chainlink is one of my favorites when it comes to that. We talked about storage on that first website, but Filecoin is going to be one of the big ones there. Lending and borrowing, that's a sector of DeFi. Aave is going to be one of your leaders there. As you see here, we go back to the privacy coins that we already mentioned. Here is Monero. Here's one that I wanted to point out though as well, governance tokens. These are tokens that basically allow the users voting rights when it comes to figuring out the direction that the project is going to go. This kind of takes that DAO approach where everything's decentralized. Even though Uniswap is listed as a governance token, we can scroll up and see it's also listed in DeFi. This is because these coins can have multiple different use cases for it. You could own Uniswap token and then swap that into something else like Ethereum or a stablecoin, and that classifies the use case of Uniswap as a DeFi nature. or just by simply holding Uni token, you could spend that token as a vote when a vote comes to surface. So a lot of these coins have multiple uses to it as well. Here's one that's interesting to our stock market fans, and that's derivatives. These are basically cryptographic synthetic versions of stocks, and we can see that like the synthetic network token. It's a really cool idea that they've got going on there. It's definitely worth looking into. We can see here there's even coins looking to transform the insurance industry, the perpetuals industry, the tourism industry, and I mean the list just kind of goes on and on. So the main point of this video is that I want you guys to understand that crypto is way more than just currency. As you can see here, there's 51 different categories of assets that we have at our disposal. Now, a handful of these are currency related, but definitely not all of them. With that being said, I'm going to definitely make sure to post some videos dedicated to talking about the main sectors: DeFi, governance tokens, yield farming. The next video I'm going to post is a yield farming based video on Cake and Pancake Swap. But regardless of what asset class you choose to invest in, always do your due diligence and your research beforehand, and always consult a financial advisor. I myself am not personally a financial advisor, and nothing in this video should be taken as financial advice. It should just be looked at as enjoyment or a learning opportunity. Now, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you had any questions, make sure to put it down in the comments. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to try and post every day or two a token tutorial similar to this. My goal is to help you increase your crypto and stock background, but I want to just get the crypto content out there because I feel like it's more pressing of the two. With that being said, my name is Sugar, and I hope you have a great day. Always invest responsibly.